Welcome to Mormon Book Reviews, where an evangelical encounters the restoration. I'm your host, Stephen Pynakker. And boy, I'll tell you, everybody, I announced the other day that I had COVID. Um, First had symptoms just a couple days after Sunstone. And I didn't think much of it because I usually feel pretty tired and worn out when I do my trips out to Utah. But I tested positive the other day for COVID, so I definitely had it. My mom has it. But I tested negative last night. So now I'm like a real happy camper because I'm feeling like I feel better. Um, I posted it on my Facebook page, on my private group. And by the way, if you're on Facebook and you can make a friend request to Stephen Pynakker, but also I have a private group called Mormon Book Reviews with Stephen Pynakker. Kind of gives you behind the scenes stuff. Please feel free to check that out. We got a couple hundred people there, and I give insider information there. So just want to let you know about that. So this is what I wanted to talk about was, first of all, tested negative. So thanks for all your prayers and everything like that. Mom and I will tell you the biggest thing is just been really, really tired. Bit of a cough. I haven't taken any cough medicine now because, like I said, my symptoms are pretty much gone except for being really, really, really tired. But I've just been drinking lots of fluids, and my mom's she's got it a little worse than I do. But she seems to be bouncing back, but she's still terribly tired too. She's just, I mean, literally, if we're sitting, we fall asleep. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get a lot of book reading done. That's the thing that really stinks about this. You think, oh, you're sick, you're under the weather, get caught up on other things. I was just too worn out to do anything. So I was, started on this book right before Sunstone, and I haven't been able to get back to it. And it's great. I love what I've read so far. And I just wanted to give everybody kind of an update on a few things that are happening. First of all, tomorrow I will be releasing my interview with John Dehlin. Now, Anthony just did some post-production to it. Looks really sharp, by the way. And I watched it last night. Actually, I watched it once and then watched about half of it again because it was really good. I really feel like this was a really, really good interview with John. I really feel like there was a lot of good chemistry between he and I. We had just a really good rapport, and it was really cool. To be able to use his studio, his equipment, and he felt very comfortable talking with me, opened up, talks about things he hadn't talked about before. We also the first question I asked him is about if he's ever going to write a book. Because like I said, I got book in the name of the title. So I got to at least ask if we're going to write a book or not. So he gives insight onto his thoughts about writing a book. We also discussed the Sandra Tanner dinner that we were invited to that was organized by Jenna Camp and Allison Biggers. That was really cool. So watch for the interview tomorrow, man. It's going to be really good. It's a couple hours long. That's just part one. I think he said, why don't you come back? We'll shoot part two next time you're in town. I'm like, okay, anytime I get a chance to talk, but this is the secret, folks. He thinks it's just going to be part two. But my goal is from now on, every time I head to Utah, I'm going to tape an interview with John Dehlin. Don't tell him. That's my goal, to kind of have it as an ongoing conversation between John and I. Wouldn't that be cool? Maybe every 6 months or so, an interview, 3 to 6 months, will be dropped with me talking with John Dehlin. So you never know. Like I said, really good rapport with the dude. He's just great. Now, of course, there are faithful Mormons out there who feel very strongly about John, and I respect where you're coming from. There are ex-Mormons who have pretty strong opinions about him too, both positive and negative. So I get that he's a divisive figure. He recognizes that as well. And we talk a little bit about that. So there's just a really interesting conversation. A few things I've been meaning to give a shout out to Jonathan Neville, because when I stayed out there he saved me a few $100 worth of hotel stays because he let me stay at his condo for like 4 or 5 nights while I was out in Sunstone. So I only had to get a couple nights while I was there. So Jonathan, thank you so much. And then actually him and his wife were there for the last 2 nights I was there. And it was cool. I hardly saw him, but we got to talk in between, and that was really good. And he gave me a ride out to Sunstone one of the mornings. And so, yeah, it's great to have all these friendships I'm developing with people. Okay, so this is the deal. So Sandra Tanner had this great, awesome dinner. That was really cool. I got to speak at it. And I got another copy of the Lighthouse book. Signature Books, a shout out to you guys. They sent me a reader's copy, or before it came out. And then Sandra, I got an extra copy. So I have announced this previously that we're having the book giveaway contest for this book, and it won't be the signed one. The signed one I'm keeping, just this one. But if you want me to sign it, let me know. If you would like for me to sign a book or whatever. So what I want you to do is go to mormonbookreviews@gmail.com, and I'll put a link in the description. And I want you to write into the subject heading book contest, and I want you to leave me your name and address saying that you would like to be entered into the contest for this book. Sometime this month. I haven't come up with a deadline yet because I'm kind of thinking of scheduling a interview with Sandra, and maybe have at the end of the interview, maybe do the drawing then. So sometime this month, I don't know. It's August 11th today that I'm taping this, so maybe August 31st. But I don't want to give any deadlines yet because I haven't even scheduled an interview with Sandra yet. But yeah, so those of you who'd like to be entered into the book contest, just go in the email mormonbookreviews@gmail.com. Also, a few things. If you'd like to support us on Patreon or PayPal, there will be links in the description there as well. And we've been updating our podcast. So those of you who are subscribed to us for the podcast over the last week, we've been putting stuff out just about every day, releasing. Couldn't think of the word releasing. Releasing a new podcast every day on both Spotify, Apple, and all your other major podcast formats as well. So enter the contest. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for your thoughts and prayers. It means a lot to hear from Christians, Mormons, atheists, and wishing me well. And that's always really, really cool. I think that covers everything. Lining up some more great interviews, folks. Nobody's turned me down yet, and I don't know who's going to be the first person to turn me down, but it's just great. All the great guests that we've lined up. I had a great conversation with Willie Grills last week. He was a Lutheran minister, and he's been on Gospel Tangents. Speaking of Gospel Tangents, Rick Bennett did a 2-part interview with John Dehlin a couple weeks ago. And it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. It was so cool to see my 2 favorite YouTubers finally sitting in the same room, talking and having this conversation. I knew about the secret interview from last year that will probably never see the light of day, but at least they got together and they were able to film this. And I just thought it was really good. Gives good insights. I think it's a good complement to the interview that I taped with John as well. So I want to recommend that. And let's see, I think that's pretty much it. I'm still kind of there, but I'm feeling better. I'm glad the light's at the end of the tunnel. I'm virtually symptom-free except for being tired, and I'm negative. So all is well in MBR land. Thanks again, everybody, for your support. You all have yourself a great day. And also, just remember, all the voices of the restoration will be heard on Mormon Book Reviews. You have yourself a great day.